Where do you want to go? You want to go to this Gangsta Grills? Let's
Yeah, we
talk
can
about the
go.
Gangsta Grills.
Yeah, we can go there.
Everybody wants us to talk about this Gangsta Grill. So, DJ Drama and Dreamville presented D-Day, a Gangsta Grills mixtape. Dropped it yesterday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, I mean, the mixtape features everything from, Earth Gang. Obviously, that's a part of Green Day. Dreamville. 2 Chains, ASAP Ferg's on here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Young Nudi's on here. What's up?
Already got 2 records on there.
Already got 2 records on there. You know what I realized, man? I mean, we knew this anyway, but I'm like, man, J. Cole got a squad.
He does.
And once again, man, J. Cole is outside, man.
Let's talk about it, Mike.
He's outside, man. J. Cole's out here putting out music. When I first heard the first song on here, Stick, I'm like, oh yeah, they coming with it. They set the tone with that shit. And then J. Cole comes in, does what he does. J. Cole got freedom of speech on here.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, man. I liked it.
I enjoyed it, Mike.
I liked it a lot.
So here was my takeaway after listening to this project, because I don't think it's a stretch to say it right now. The best 3 MCs in the game right now are Nas, Conway, and J. Cole.
Okay.
Those are the best 3 MCs in the game right now. That's my takeaway.
What would Pusha T say about that? Well,
Pusha T needs to drop his project, and we can revisit that. He hasn't dropped an album since Daytona, Mike. It was in 2019. Like you said, Cole's been outside.
Cole has been outside. At least Pusha's been doing features.
No, look here. Got to update that formula. You see, we have certain formulas, but we update them with the times.
Hold on, my bad. I'm looking down, man. It looks like I got a notification.
Beat style.
It looks like Kendrick Lamar dropping an album April 15th. So
2 weeks, Mike.
On the clock. So what? Next week we got Pusha T, and April 15th we got Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, so I just said my top 3 MCs right now were Nas, Conway, and Cole. Go prove me wrong.
It was an April Fool's. I'm sorry. Yeah, no Kendrick's coming.
Right. Right.
Sorry about that. I had to do that. I was thinking of the right time of the show to do it, and it just felt right. So yeah, for anybody who saw that, yeah, April Fool's. Ain't no Kendrick Lamar coming. Probably ain't even coming this year. But anyway.
We didn't even take you that seriously, man.
J. Cole's outside, bro.
Hard.
People in the chat are like, April Fools. They knew that was an April Fool's joke before it even happened. That's sad.
That is sad.
That is sad. This is where we're at.
Hold on, Mike. You said it. I wasn't even that excited. I was like, okay, so he's coming out in 2 weeks. Like, that's okay. That's great. Like, yeah, okay. So
you see where we're at, right? You see where we're at right now, Kendrick. You're an April Fool's joke.
I mean, Mike, we might as well segue to the picture then, since we're here.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Let's give the people who actually put out music the respect that they deserve. The people who actually put out music, yeah, man. Shout out to Dreamville, man. Those dudes were spitting too, man.
They're outside. That's what they are.
Yeah. Listen, man. You know me, and I've said it on this channel before. I've always thought that Kendrick was ahead of Cole. That's not true. No, I'm wrong. I was wrong. That's not true.
That's not true.
Cole's the guy.
Keep saying what the late great guru said. We have certain formulas, but we update our formulas with the times. All right.
The game has changed so much too, and you know what? You're right. Pusha T, he hasn't dropped since 2018, but he's made his presence felt. He's got married. He's had a kid, lost his mother, and now his father. So he's had a very interesting 4 years anyway. So,
hey.
Yeah. And he has a career before that. You know what I mean?
I mean, you and I talk oftentimes about the things that go on in our lives behind the scenes that, affect us sometimes with this show. So unfortunately, as men, we still have to get up and we still have to go to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the reality of the matter is that, and this is what I keep even saying. And so if we have to be consistent. And so if we're talking about how long it's been since Kendrick has had an album, and therefore we can't just be reserving and holding spots for him thereby because of it. Now, Pusha hasn't been like silent or ghost by any means the way Kendrick has, but it has been about 3 years since the solo release. And so I can't say that you're better even if I feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
Because, you can't be.
Because, that's not...
Because you got to prove that.
Right, because we got to update this formula. And so Conway is out here proving. Nas is out here proving. Cole out here proving. And there are guys who out here like Stove who got next who are out here proving.
And let's be perfectly real. Shout out to Tominette says JID makes the roster hard deep. Let's look. The reality of the situation is, honestly, a lot of this stuff J. Cole doesn't have to do.
No, he's already...
People hold him high. He's already made anyway. Everything that he's doing at this point is extra credit.
I got it. Made.
Yeah. Hudson says we're still talking about Kendrick more than Cole, but we're giving Cole more praise. We're not really talking positively about Kendrick in this sense. Honestly, it's a little disappointing.
I just put J. Cole in a stratosphere with Nas and Conway. I'm not doing that with Kendrick.
I think the thing is, too, what people have to understand. We run a hip-hop podcast. We've seen a whole lot. You worked in the record industry. I've worked in radio and all of that. And we've just seen this thing from afar as fans, from kids on to adulthood. I've never seen anything like this. So, excuse me if we continuously bring this up. I've never seen anybody in their prime take a 5-year hiatus and with no sign of any music coming, no collabs or anything, and we're supposed to act like this is normal? Because I've seen in the chats, and I think in our community section, people saying he the GOAT, he doesn't have to do anything else. And, I mean, you don't have to do anything, but you're not going to be held high. I think the only other person we've seen some of this stuff with is Andre 3000. And at least he has the Outkast catalog to rely upon, but as an individual, like I've said, he was my favorite rapper growing up, but as an individual, he's disqualified from any individual conversation as it pertains to greatest MC, blah, blah, blah.
Mike, I have a real question to ask you.
What's that?
Whose catalog is better, Outkast or Kendrick's? Because we got 4 albums to go off of, essentially, for both of them.
I think Outkast's catalog is better. But I mean,
song for song,
if you're being compared to that group, I mean, that's high praise in itself. I think one of the things that Kendrick didn't do well is he doesn't have those big songs. And see, Outkast was able to make big songs and make great albums that, that flow very well as well. Because I think those are his weakest points. I think that King Kunta shouldn't even be on that album. King Kunta by far is the worst song on To Pimp a Butterfly.
I don't. It might be, but here's I stopped for a second and think about the track list. I was like,
that shit shouldn't even be on there. But see, he doesn't effortlessly make those kind of songs in a way where Outkast was able to make Rosa Parks and make that fit in with Aquemini.
So this is what I mean about people got to get realistic about their expectations and start scaling back. I was using Outkast as a reference point because Outkast, much like Kendrick, what they're renowned for is really the depth of their albums and the quality of the album from beginning to end, and not necessarily the singles. But go line up Outkast singles next to Kendrick singles, and it's blowing his shit out the water. Yeah. And so people with this GOAT talk about him, it's like, you know what I'm saying?
This is hip-hop, man. And honestly, whether people like it or not, you're going to be judged by your singles.
And your peers.
And your bangers and your peers. And what your peers were able to do with their singles. You know what I mean?
And when your peers are performing and you're not, people are calling you the GOAT. Well, we might need to highlight and bring some reality to that perspective.
Definitely. Man with the super chat says, just listening to Sideline Story yesterday and seeing his growth through the years, Cole has come a long way with his writing, lyricism, and adapting. And you're right. We have to give him credit for that.
You want to know what's gotten really sick, Mike?
What's that?
His delivery has gotten sick. Like delivery wise, it's like when I'm hearing him now, I'm like,
it's effortless too.
He's better now than he is on Forest Hills. Like
I agree with that.
Wise, like he's in a zone, Mike. He's in a nice little space right now, and he's out here going for his. So I want to go to some quick critiques of the album, if I may. Though.
Hold on, let me get to Clayton's super chat. He just dropped $20. Clayton, that's me, with the super chat says, Revenge of the Dreamers is a great series and one of the reasons I hold Cole above Kendrick. He builds people around him and works harder while being more reliable, in my opinion. That goes a long way. Kendrick doesn't have a team.
Strong stuff.
And you know what? And before you get into your critiques, and we're going to get into this next story also, but one of the things that really came to mind when I first heard To Pimp a Butterfly was the fact that Ab-Soul, J-Rock, nor Schoolboy Q's on the album. And I was like, huh. And then the same thing happened with Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, at least with Cole, when he does those things, no features, because he's known for not having features, he still gives back with his team because he respects what they do, their craft, their dope rhymers. Kendrick has some of the dopest rhymers of that era in his crew. Doesn't utilize them.
So I want people to think about all the stuff Schoolboy Q has done with other people that's been epic.
Yeah.
And tell me why there isn't just more Kendrick and Q stuff on the back and forth. And you know what I mean? Like, that's absurd to me. Like, they missed a whole opportunity and a moment for the West Coast with that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the West should have a catalog of like how about this?
I thought the West was going to take over when Ab-Soul, J-Rock, Kendrick, and Schoolboy Q came in the door.
You can't take over when the head doesn't want. And this is what I'm saying. Go look at Snoop when Snoop's on top. You got everybody around him. Lady of Rage, Dog Pound, Dr. Dre, Trey D and the East Siders. Like, he's putting people on around him, but he ain't just putting them on, Mike. He's doing work with them. Rage's first single, who's doing background on the hook? Rock on.
A takeover is a collaborative effort, as we've seen in hip hop, and that's why the South has been able to be so strong. When I heard Black Lip Bastard remix Ab-Soul's joint, where it was with Schoolboy Q, Kendrick, and J-Rock closed it out, I thought these guys was gonna take the game, man.
But this is what I mean.
They were a super team.
Your front man has to want that. You get what I'm saying? And so the front man didn't want it, because I was even thinking, go to Ice Cube with the Lynch Mob and West Side Connection. That's what I mean. Every time the guy who's had it, they put the whole team on, and the Brockton really made it something. So an opportunity was missed, is what I'm saying. Because think about it, that West Side Connection album,
we're gonna get into that in 1 second, but yeah, give your critiques on the Gangsta Grill.
Well, I didn't just want to say critiques too, because like some of the stuff is positive. Like one of the positives, man, they can spit. This team can rhyme. So there are a lot of brilliant extended clip verses on here. You know what I'm saying? They ride at 48, and that's cool. On the flip side of that, can you write whole solo songs by yourself, not on some mixtape shit? Because when you do that well in this format, that's the question that I'm always going to ask. You know, like when you perform exceedingly well at this, like pretty much everybody who stepped to the mic did, it's like, okay, what do you sound like outside of this format? Like isolated and by yourself as an artist. I think JID, of course, like is like icing on the cake and probably more of an outlier in terms of my question of that. But the question still remains.
What do you think of Earth Gang, though?
No, dope, but just, how dope are you outside of this format? Because also, too, and I've noticed this too, man, is there a better DJ mixtape than Drama? Is there? Like, in terms of, like, actually putting out a quality, like, is there?
Well, I don't think anybody else is doing that format anymore, and I feel like...
I mean, never. Has there ever been a DJ that's put more quality projects together than Drama has?
I don't think so.
Right, so they're rocking with the best. And you can tell that, too, in terms of, like, this mixtape shit. And that's why it's like I'm going to raise questions about what they can potentially do solo. And that's the only real critique that I have for the camp. And I have one critique of Cole. Want to hear it?
What's up?
It should have been him rhyming over there. Shot your beat. Because you're in a zone, and I want to hear you on that beat, not anybody else from this camp. I want to hear you on that record the way we heard Jay on that record, the way we heard Kiss on that record. You feel me?
No,
because that's where you are. You get on that record. Don't put the homies on that. That's your record to take.
J. Cole is elite.
Go do elite record.
The only thing J. Cole is missing, and kind of like what we were saying before, is like when we talk about all-time greats, just those individual standout songs that are culture-shifting records. Not talking about just quality records, but the big ones.
No, he doesn't have The World Is Yours, Juicy, he doesn't even have those. He doesn't have the big hits either. He doesn't have If I Rule the World, One More Chance. Like, he doesn't have.
I mean, we don't even have to go back that far. Does he have an Emcee? Does he have What You Know?
No, see, that's what I mean. I don't think it's fair to put him with those guys because lyrically he's more like the guys that I named, and that's why I reference those guys and I reference those records because those are records that you can still hear the greatness of the lyricist in the record, even though it's a hit record and a classic hip hop song.
I think that's fair. Does he has more whose records have more legs? Individual songs between him and Kendrick, you think?
He does, but what I was about to tell you is that Pusha T doesn't have those records either.
Pusha T got grinded.
Solo artist, he doesn't have those records.
As a solo artist, no, he does not have those records.
And I still hold him very, very high. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like he's not...
LP says Cole don't have a humble. I think that's fair. I don't think Cole has an all right either. If I want to be totally fair.
No. Okay. Just don't love those records, to be honest with you.
You don't love all right?
Not like everybody else does.
I don't love swimming pools. What about Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe?
Oh, I love Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. That's epic.
You did.
Yeah. That's different, though. That's what I mean. That's the guy. When I'm talking about you hear Section 80 and you hear what he could be.
Yeah.
Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe is that. It's like, oh, look where he done took it. Right.
I mean, that's a huge record. I don't think Cole has one of those.
Okay. I mean, we can give that to Kendrick, but it's like, I didn't know Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe was that big.
It was big when it came out. I mean, Jay got on the remix.
Yeah.
And, a record's not... I mean, Jay don't get on records remixes that aren't big.
I didn't love that remix.
I didn't love that remix either.
It just didn't flow as well.
Oh, we got Money Trees, DNA, All Right, Poetic Justice. Sure, forget, what about ADHD? Yeah, I think on the individual songs, I might have to give it to Kendrick, but I will say.
And that's all Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City stuff, too, like I said.
What about DNA? DNA is damn.
Okay, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, DNA.
ADHD, right?
We got DNA, Humble, right? Those are the songs that I would choose for that project. Obviously, All Right on To People.
Love. I mean, Love, to be honest with you, is the best single off that project.
You think so?
That's the third best song on that album to me.
It's interesting you say that. I think that might be my favorite song on that album.
I mean, for me, it goes Feel, Element, Love, and then DNA.
I love both of them. I love all three of those records.
And then Duckworth, yeah. Feel, Element, Love, DNA, Duckworth. Yeah. In that order.
I'm not a big fan of Duckworth like that.
I'm going to tell you why. That's like
I like Loyalty too. Shout out to them in the chat. Go ahead.
No, I like Loyalty too. Loyalty would be just after Duckworth. How about this? I played Loyalty before Duckworth, but do you understand how amazing it is that he held that song and that story till his fourth album? It speaks to how great the depth of his content is. It really does, because your average rapper, like Chris Rock says, usually done told you everything about themselves by the end of album number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he held that literally to the end of album number 4, no, that's like extra marks. It's not the same. It's not the same level as like doing Rewind, but it's one of those things. It's like, man, extra marks for doing something like that, just on an artistic level. It's like, oh, you held a story of that gravity that long, and then you were able to finally piece it together to end your fourth. Yeah, no, it's pretty special. It is.
Speaking of Duckworth, let me get to the super chat real quick. Shout out to Mad Max in the building. He said, first off, no role models is better than humble. And Cole got love yours, crooked smile, middle child, neighbors. Think I'm selling dope morning with Drake. Yeah, I mean, those are all great records. Neighbors think I'm selling dope morning with Drake.
I love Neighbors.
Neighbors is hard.